Hi, everyone. So, you know, um, like, basically, those are all filler words. And filler words are just one piece of the puzzle to what builds the public speaking world. Now, I personally love public speaking, and I'm truly honored to be in front of all of you today to talk about what I love best. But this isn't a presentation on presentation skills. If I built a solution that encompassed all of these skills, then I think we'd all become the same public speaker, and that's not really fun. The problem that I want to address today is the problem of filler words. More specifically, how public speaking confidence among American students and young adults has drastically declined. And as a result of the lack of emphasis on these presentation skills in the classroom setting, especially here at Boston University, that has left filler words unchecked. Now, as a quick disclaimer, I am no expert on public speaking, and I might be using filler words today. I know some of you will as well. But I'm not here to bash on your ability to use filler words. But I want you to count, you audience members, count the number of filler words I use today. As I began my definition of the user experience for the app that I'm building, I defined introverted Ian, who, like myself once before, is a shy computer science college student without very much exposure to the world of public speaking. And he has a lot of interviews lined up, he has a lot of presentation skills that he needs to brush up on. And the solutions out in the market today really just aren't for him. We have Mock Trial, who he's not very fond of, and today's market of apps require VR headsets, demand coaching that require a lot of money. And this is just not feasible for the broke college student like me. In my series of surveys and interviews I conducted with over 100 Boston University students, I found that over 70% demonstrated a struggle with public speaking. Over 80% had only practiced a couple of times a month, perhaps even less, and 100% of those students indicated that there was no known solution. Now, what I mean by that is that you could go up in front of your mirror, you can go in front of your friends, but there's no tangible technological solution out there. And this began the 1-minute word challenge. The 1-minute word challenge is this challenge that my friends and I at a very young age had come up with to define our public speaking skills. And what the premise of the 1-minute word challenge is to throw out a bunch of random words at you. It could be food, fish, trees, cars. I don't know why those words always come up every time I present this, but those are the ones I come up with. And we talk about it for as long as possible, ideally up to a minute. And you try to go at it without any filler words possible. And the moment you say your first filler word, you say, we cut you off right there. And in my Keystone project, in collaboration with BU Spark, I wanted to simulate this experience as closely as possible. Now, of course, we're not cutting you off at your first filler word, but Minute, the app I designed, is focusing on highlighting those filler words within the span of your 1-minute sessions, perhaps untimed sessions, and you could put in your own input, or you could have a randomly selected prompt of your own. Now, you might be asking yourself after this presentation, what's really stopping you from going out there, going on your voice memos app, and recording this on your own without the need for my own app? Well, let me ask you this. Truthfully ask yourselves, how many times have you opened the voice memos app within the last month, maybe even year? Honestly, for me, I've opened it up 0 times. How many times have you gone up in front of your friends or practiced in front of a mirror? Not that often, I'm assuming. I define user stories to make sure that the purpose of Minute is to provide a platform where you can consistently train those public speaking skills, where you can record these snippets of your own presentation and your speech, and then you can learn more about your speech patterns, where you did well, where you messed up, and how you can build your public speaking confidence from there. Furthermore, I want users to be able to track their progress by setting these long-term goals ahead so that you can build your practicing consistently. And this leads us to the 2 main features of Minute, which is the public speaking component and the text analysis. Now, I'm going to be showing you a series of screenshots that replicates that user experience and that user flow. In this first landing page, once you log in using your Google account, you're prompted with two buttons. The 1-minute word challenge I've already described, as well as a topic selector function, which is allowed to provide users to put in their own input and go for an untimed session, not worrying too much about a time constraint. Once we click on the 1-minute word challenge button, we're prompted immediately with the dreaded "tell me about yourself," one of hundreds of prompts that you could be receiving. And once you click that play button, that timer starts counting down, and you could say as much as you want, you could say as little as you want, you could use as many filler words as you want, or none at all. Once you complete this, we congratulate you, because let me tell you, talking for 1 minute without using any filler words is pretty difficult. Afterwards, once we send out that voice recording and we get that service back with a transcription, we can see that we've highlighted all the filler words here, and we count them, and we make sure to show you a graph visual of your most commonly used filler words. Furthermore, we also give you pros and cons and some advice on how to better perform in your next session. Afterwards, if you perform multiple sessions already, you can look back at previous sessions that you've performed and look at the advice so that you can track your own progress from there. Now, I won't get too technical with the tech stack here, but on the highest end, this is the user interface right at the top, which is built using a JavaScript library, React.js, which is a framework, and Ant Design, which allows us to streamline our workflow by using pre-built components. In the middle here, we have Assembly AI, which is doing the bulk of our work, where we send out our voice recordings, and then we get that service back in the form of a transcription. And Tink AI takes that transcription and provides us with recommendations. Now, of course, we want to store our users' information somewhere so that they can see their progress, see their history, and we use that using Google Firebase. In regards to future directions of the application, public speaking is a true passion of mine, and what I really want to do with this application is to make public speaking confidence skills accessible and feasible for all of us students. Of course, in these bullet points down below, within the span of the last week, we're able to accomplish a lot of these already. In terms of the goal setting function, we are now connected to your Google account, and what that allows you to do is set up a long-term goal, connect that to your Google Calendar, so we can prompt you with a series of notifications. Furthermore, we have public speaking resources on the Learn page right now that directs you to TED Talks, Medium articles, where you can learn more about public speaking skills. And what I really truly hope to do is expand upon the text analysis component. Furthermore, I don't want this to just be highlighting your filler words, but pick up on your tone, your pacing, and other speech patterns. Now, did I use any filler words throughout this entire presentation? You tell me. Thank you so much.
Great job, Andy, and no, you did not use any filler
Thank
words. I was wondering, I think I saw on one of the slides where you were highlighting which filler words exist, that there were some like so, or you know, or like, which can be used in other contexts, like when describing something or using a simile. So I'm wondering how, like, your app deals with that sort of dual use situation.
Yeah, that's a great question. And we're still currently working on making sure that we highlight the right likes, so's, and you knows. Because I could say, I really like food, and it would highlight that as of right now. And we're trying to still configure that so that by the time we get to pitch this to investors and shareholders by next week, that we can finalize that product. But yes, that is a great question, and I'm still currently working on the logic of that.
Andy, this is a great presentation and great product. I just want to clarify if this is a mobile app or a web app, because based on the tech stack, it's more of like a web app, but based on your presentation, it seems more of like a mobile app.
Yeah, so that's a great question, because I actually started this project as a mobile application building on a React Native platform, and unfortunately, due to the lack of support for certain functionalities, for certain libraries, we had to transition over to a web application. And the best parts about using React is that we can transfer it over to mobile app if we choose to do so later on. As of right now, we're still currently using a web application platform, but we do hope to move that to a mobile app framework in the near future.
We have time for one more question. I have a question about the broader implications of this, besides being a passion of yours and clearly something that you're very good at, public speaking, and improving it being good in and of itself. What do you think are some other ways in which improving what you characterize as a decline in public speaking capacities among students, why is that a good thing more broadly? What else is this contributing to?
Well, I really hope that Minute accomplishes outside of the sphere of, oh, that's the filler words I've been using a lot more recently, is to really emphasize that public speaking, especially here at Boston University, I've never taken a public speaking course. I don't think any of the Kilachand students here have taken one either. And I know that there is 1 or 2 classes within the Questrom School of Business that allow that, but what I really hope to do is to pitch this project to those who really find that that we need more awareness in high school settings, maybe even in the college scene, that we need to take more of these classes. We need to emphasize that there is, like I said, a lack of public speaking presence in our education system. And I hope this builds on to not only allow students to work on more projects, but also test each other, hold each other accountable for their own presentations. Just because I feel like within my small group of friends, I've been able to practice in front of them all the time, and they've been able to practice in front of me. And I feel like we need to encourage that a lot more, just because sometimes we just hold ourselves up. Maybe it's because of COVID, who knows? But I do believe that there is a room for emphasizing a larger culture of being open about our presentation skills. All right, thank you so much.